Hello people of the internet, my name is Zafin and welcome back to Comic Club. This is episode 2 and today I am reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man: The Death of Spider-Man. If you aren't prepared for any spoilers, I would stop watching now. This is also a long description of the book, as it is a long book. The story begins with Norman Osborn, who was thought dead. He turns out to be alive and is in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s custody. Despite their belief that Osborn no longer has powers, he's still able to transform into his goblin form, and escapes his cell. He then breaks several of Spider-Man's other villains out of their cells: Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, Kraven the Hunter, and Vulture, calling them Men of God. Meanwhile, Spider-Man heads into the conflict between the New Ultimates and the Avengers. This is seen in Avengers vs. New Ultimates books. While observing the event from a distance, he gets a call from MJ. She tells him that she just found out through the Daily Bugle's website that Norman Osborn is alive and has escaped with some of Spider-Man's other enemies. She warns him that Osborn is going to kill him and he should go back home to protect his family. Peter phones home and tells Aunt May and Gwen to go into hiding. Peter goes into New York as Spider-Man and sees Dr. Octopus's body, who's dead after refusing to take revenge on Peter, and sees the Punisher pointing a gun at Captain America. Spider-Man leaps and pushes Captain America out of the way, taking the bullet in the stomach. Meanwhile, the Vulture and other villains crash the Tinkerer's hideout and force him to give them weapons. Kraven then tracks Peter's scent to his house, where the villains encounter Bobby Drake and Johnny Storm, the Iceman and Human Torch. After a brief battle, an injured Spider-Man arrives, the bullet wound in his stomach webbed over and having lost his mask. After quickly dispatching Vulture, he challenges the other villains to attack him. The battle soon draws the attention of the entire neighborhood, who soon surround the area, glimpsing Peter without his mask, and deducing his identity. Some begin filming the battle on their mobile phones. Peter is bombarded by assaults from the Vulture, Sandman, and Electro, but before Electro can finish off Peter, he is shot in the chest by a returning May Parker. The bullet wound causes Electro to unleash an electrical barrage that neutralizes Vulture and Sandman. The battle appears to be over until Norman Osborn awakens, lunging straight for Peter, Aunt May, and Gwen Stacy. Peter grabs them both and jumps to safety, with the Green Goblin following quickly behind. Peter frantically instructs Gwen to not listen to anything Aunt May says and to get her as far away from the battle as possible. Meanwhile, Mary Jane is at home watching the news, trying to get in touch with Peter on the phone, when she sees the sparks in the sky coming from Peter's neighborhood. She tries to leave the house but is stopped by her mother. Meanwhile, Peter fights against the Green Goblin, but realizes he is too weak to win the fight alone. Peter wakes up a sleeping Johnny Storm from the front lawn, who leaps into battle with Osborn and tries to burn him. Norman, however, absorbs the entirety of Johnny's attack, sending Johnny back down to the Parker's front lawn. Desperate and faced with superpowered Goblin, Peter begins to mercilessly beat Osborn with a mailbox, while verbally berating him, asking what the point of killing Spider-Man would be. Peter quips that killing him won't bring back Harry, nor will it restore his industrial empire, while throwing him into an open fire hydrant. Osborn's response is, "But you'll be dead." Peter, seemingly resigned to dying, clenches his side as the Goblin bears down on him, when suddenly a speeding, stolen van driven by Mary Jane hits the Goblin, momentarily incapacitating him. Peter punches through the windshield to rescue Mary Jane, kisses her, and throws her to safety in a web that he spins. Osborn tries to crawl out from under the van, angry and vowing to destroy Peter's life and family like Spider-Man destroyed his. Peter, completely exhausted, lifts up the van and slams it repeatedly down on Norman. Suddenly the van explodes, throwing Peter at the feet of Johnny Storm and his neighbours. Johnny remarks that he thinks Peter got Osborn in the explosion. MJ, Gwen, and Aunt May all show up simultaneously. Aunt May begins to cry while MJ and Gwen ask where the ambulance are. Peter, in his last breath, says to Aunt May, "It's okay, I did it. Don't you see, it's okay, I did it. I couldn't save him, Uncle Ben, I couldn't save him, no matter what I did. But I saved you, I did it, I did." He smiles up at her and his eyes gloss over. That was a long description of the story, as it is a very long story. It's about an inch thick, inch and a half, and it's well worth it. On the last cut scene, well, the last scene on the last grid, the scene shows MJ holding Peter, and then onto the next page in the last grid, it shows a flame, and then Norman Osborn lying in a wreckage. As what it seems as though Norman has won, but he's dead, and the body seemingly smiles. I haven't read on past this, so I don't know if he dies or not. But he does smile, so that could either mean something entirely different. He might not be alive, he might be dead, and just the body seems to, I don't know, the muscles tightened or something. I don't know, something like that. But as I said, this is a very long. It's not a very long book. It didn't take me long to read, but it is from the Ultimate Spider-Man line of books. This is the crucial one, as it ends an era of Peter Parker and moves to the new Spider-Man, Michael Morales. It's definitely a must-read. Every book that I am going to review in this series will be a must-read, otherwise I wouldn't review it. I'll probably throw in a couple that I wouldn't recommend, but maybe, I don't know. But yes, this one is one you should pick up, and then if you can, get the next one, which is the first one with Michael Morales, the second Spider-Man. This is one book that it doesn't cover much of the Ultimate Spider-Man line, other than the fact that the Goblin is actually alive. Other than that, but it does kill off the character of Peter Parker. So yes, it is, as I've said about 3 or 4 times now, it's a crucial book. I'm gonna start rating these books, so I would say I'd give this one, well, when I first read it, I'd have said a 9.5 out of 10, because it's absolutely wonderful. The art is amazing. It's always gripping. And the first time I read it, it was a shock to me when he died. Even though the title is Death of Spider-Man, you can't expect someone to just die that easily. Someone who's been around for years, that is, to die that easily. But later on, once you've read it a few times, it starts to sink in that yes, he's dead. He's now dead in the book. So every time you read it, it drops to about an 8. So it doesn't drop that much. But overall, I suggest that you go get this book, and I will see you next time. And don't forget, if you like this series and want to see more episodes, share, like it, watch it. Go watch the other episode, episode 1, which was The Killing Joke. My name is Zathan. Thanks for watching.